Okay, today we're going to be solving quadratics. We're going to use what we call the quadratic formula. So we're also going to talk about, we have different names for solutions. Don't ask me why, we just have lots of different names. And they all mean the same thing. And we're going to learn how to solve a quadratic using the quadratic formula. Now there's a lot of steps to the quadratic formula and a lot of places where you can make minor mistakes. So I want you to take your time and look at this video, and in class we'll do some more. All right. So just so you know, different solutions to a quadratic, and we're going to see them more when we're graphing, are called solutions, roots, zeros, and x-intercepts. So if you're ever asked for any of these four things, you can either graph to solve, which we're going to get to in a couple days, or you can solve using the quadratic formula, you can solve by factoring, you can solve by any of the ways that we've learned. And the ways that we're going to learn, we've learned factoring. We're going to learn the quadratic formula today, and then we're going to learn how to solve them by graphing and then by taking square roots. So let's just start with the quadratic formula. And I'm going to embarrass myself and put this on YouTube. And I'm actually going to sing the quadratic formula. And we're going to give you an opportunity to get extra credit by singing it too. So to the tune of Pop Goes the Weasel. Here we go. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now you guys already think I'm nuts, but now you're going to think I'm a little more nuts. I always say I was going to sing that for Simon, but last year of Idol is up, so I guess I won't be doing that. So listen again, and you wouldn't be amazed how you can remember this. I hear from high school kids all the time. In fact, I got a message from one of my kids a freshman year in college, and she said, "Oh my God, Miss Craig, he put it on the board," and I had no trouble with it because I remembered your song. So ready? Here we go. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. All right, so that's a quadratic formula. So when we solve the quadratic formula, we're going to get everything on one side, again, or set equal to 0, just like we did in factoring. We're going to list out our a, b, and c. We're going to substitute into that quadratic formula, and then we're going to simplify using order of operations. So here's my equation. X squared minus 2x minus 8 equals 0. It's already set equal to 0. The standard form of a quadratic is ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So a is what's in front of here. Nothing there. Remember, that's our superhero, the invisible one, coming in and dropping ones wherever we need it. Okay, so my a is going to be 1. B is what's in front of the x. So with this case, it's actually going to be negative 2. We're going to take subtraction as a negative. And c is negative 8. So right here. So my quadratic formula, here I go again, embarrassing myself in front of the world. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. Ooh, bad. Looks bad. So I'm going to start again. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So I'm going to substitute in x equals negative of negative 2 plus or minus the square root of negative 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 8 all over 2 times 1. All right, so big fraction bar is a big grouping symbol. So I'm going to do everything above, everything below, and then divide. So negative of a negative 2 is 2 plus or minus the square root, negative 2 squared is 4 minus 4 times 1 times negative 8 is negative 32 all over 2. Our minus negative just becomes plus. So now under the square root, we get 2 plus or minus the square root of 36 divided by 2. The square root of 36 is 6. So 2 plus or minus 6 divided by 2. Now we're going to split this into two different expressions. So x is going to equal 2 plus 6 divided by 2, and x is going to be equal to 2 minus 6 divided by 2. So 8 divided by 2 is 4, and negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. So in this case, our solutions are going to be 4 and negative 2. Okay. Now, I know this seems like a lot of work, and you don't have that many problems to do for homework because it is a lot of steps. Right. Now, this is not set equal to 0, so I'm going to move it to the other side. So I'm going to get x squared minus 4x minus 117 equals 0. So my a is 1, my b is negative 4, and my c is negative 117. Big numbers. Okay, here we go again. I'm singing again. So x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. By the way, those of you that have older brothers or sisters that I've had, Kira, Ty, or Tate, lots of other older brothers and sisters, and it's just escaping me right now because I'm tired. I taught them to sing it too. They probably could still sing it. So negative b, subbing in, is negative of a negative 4 plus or minus the square root of negative 4 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 117 all over 2 times 1. All right, so simplifying. X is going to equal 4 plus or minus the square root. Negative 4 squared is positive 16 minus 4 times 117 is 468. Negative 468 all over 2. Minus negative is a positive, so 468 plus 16 is 484. So I'm going to get 4 plus or minus the square root of 484 divided by 2. If I take the square root of 484, it's going to give me 22. So I'm going to get 4 plus or minus 22 divided by 2. Again, we're going to have our two expressions. X equals 4 plus 22 divided by 2, and x equals 4 minus 22 divided by 2. So in this case, x is 26 divided by 2, or 13. In this case, x is negative 18 divided by 2. I'm going to check that in the calculator in just a second. Minus 9. So Adithya doesn't try to correct me. So 4 minus 22 is negative 18. Yep. All right. So here's my solution set. Negative 9 and 13. Two solutions. I got two more examples for you. Okay, here it's already set equal to zeros. A is 1. B is negative 9. C is 21. This time I want you to sing with me. I swear I do. I can almost hear you. You're going to do it in class. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So negative, keep having all these negatives, of negative 9 plus or minus the square root of negative 9 squared minus 4 times 1 times 21 all over 2 times 1. All right, simplifying. I'm going to get positive 9 plus or minus the square root of 81 minus 84. 4 times 1 times 21 is 84 all over 2. So I'm going to get 9 plus or minus the square root of negative 3 divided by 2. And I'm going to stop right there. This is a red flag. Okay? We don't know how. Now, there is a square root of a negative number, but we don't know about that yet. You'll learn about that much later. So what we say is this has no real solution. I'm going to blow your mind one day and show you that it has an imaginary solution, but this has no real solution. Okay. Last example. Again, I need to bring my 8x, negative 8x over here, and I'm going to make it positive, and I'm going to write it in standard form. 5x squared plus 8x minus 14 equals 0. So x equals negative b plus or minus, see, I can't even not sing, the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So x equals negative 8 plus or minus the square root of 8 squared minus 4 times a is 5 and c is negative 14. I didn't even write those all out. I'm assuming you know. A is 5, b is 8, and c is negative 14, all over 2 times 5. Okay, so I get negative 8 plus or minus the square root of 64 minus 4 times 5 times 14, negative 14 is negative 280 all over 10. Remember, plus a positive, so 280 plus 64 is 344. So I get negative 8 plus or minus the square root of 344 divided by 10. If I take the square root of 344, it's not going to give me a whole number. It's going to give me this really long decimal. So we're going to say it's approximately negative 8 plus or minus 18. I'm just going to take it out to the hundredths, 0.55 divided by 10. So I have my two solutions. X equals negative 8 plus 18 and 55 hundredths divided by 10. And x is approximately negative 8 minus 18 and 55 hundredths divided by 10. So if I simplify, I'm going to get 10 and 55 hundredths divided by 10, which is going to give me 1.055. And then over here, x is going to be approximately negative 26.55 divided by 10, which is going to be negative 2.655. Okay, so those are my approximate solutions. So we can have things, in fact, more often than not, we're going to have solutions that are not whole numbers. But to start out, most of them will be whole numbers to get the hang of it. So to solve a quadratic, I can use the quadratic formula to solve them. Okay, by finding my A, my B, and my C and plugging in and then following order of operations to simplify. So you guys have a great evening and I will see you in class.